సర్రియల్ కాన్సెప్చువల్ స్టూడియో స్టార్ట్ చేయాలన్న థాట్ వెన్ డిడ్ యూ గెట్ ఇట్?
ఒక గర్ల్ కి ఒక సేఫ్టీ అనేది ఎంత ఇంపార్టెంట్ దట్ వాస్ మిస్సింగ్ ఇన్ లాట్ ఆఫ్ ది లొకాలిటీస్ దట్ వి యాక్చువల్లీ వెంట్. సో దట్ యాక్చువల్లీ పించ్డ్ మీ. ఇట్స్ లైక్
మీకెందుకు అనిపించింది దిస్ ఈస్ అ రైట్ టైం ఇట్లాంటి ఒక స్టూడియో పెట్టాలి అనేసి?
I think right idea needs to be implemented at a right time. They have brand, they have people who can do it, but they do not have a space that can be done. We wanted to bridge that gap.
How does you look surreal in future?
So next 10 years down the line, I see a lot of market that can be captured.
What are the two major problems you particularly face?
Photographers have their own communities. Models ki ala modeling agencies unnai. Lot of entities are there, but
Are there any criteria or how do you judge a business?
so there's this theory called shovel and pick theory. ఒక ఇండస్ట్రీ రష్ వచ్చినప్పుడు ఎవరైతే సపోర్ట్ సిస్టమ్ ఇవ్వగలుగుతారో దే ఆర్ ది వన్స్ హూ కెన్ ప్రొవైడ్ బికమ్ ద మిలియనర్స్.
Do you believe in renting or buying?
I think that depends if it's a
So what was the market research you did? Ante Google lo velli like what was it?
it's a literal risk that I've taken. I think this is the biggest risk I've taken in my life.
నమస్కారం అందరికి, నేను మీ అనురుద్. వెల్కమ్ టు ఇంటర్నల్ టాక్స్. నేను అట్టా చూస్తున్నారు గృహలో ఉన్నాను అనుకుంటున్నారా? కాదు, ఒక స్టూడియోలో ఉన్నా. అండ్ దిస్ స్టూడియో ఇస్ సర్రియల్ స్టూడియో. సో బేసిక్గా ప్రతి కాన్సెప్ట్కి వీళ్ళ దగ్గర ఒక ఐడియా ఉంది. అండ్ ఈ సర్రియల్ స్టూడియో ఫౌండర్ ఐశ్వర్య తోటి ఈరోజు మేము పాడ్కాస్ట్ చేస్తాం. సో మీకే కానీ కాంటెంట్ క్రియేషన్ అయినా ఫ్రీలాన్సింగ్లో అయినా ఆర్ఎల్స్ మీ అంతా మీరు కంపెనీ పెడదాం అనుకుంటే ఈ పాడ్కాస్ట్ని ఎందాక చూడండి. అండ్ ద పాడ్కాస్ట్ విత్ ఐశ్వర్య విల్ స్టార్ట్ ఇన్ 3, 2, 1. The reason I got very curious about your journey and also your venture is because I know for a fact you're trying to cater something in this industry. So I would like to know, like surreal conceptual studio, start చేయాలన్న thought, when did you get it and how did you start it?
Okay. So I started my journey from psychology. I'm a psychology graduate.
Oh.
I was planning to go further for my master's to Australia, and COVID happened, like any time. So I had to postpone my plan, and in that way I started pursuing the course called styling. And fashion was always part of me. It's just I wanted a course so that I could be more streamlined with respect to profession. So ala styling jayse I started taking up projects, commercial projects, especially with jewelry.
Okay.
So jewelry related ad shoots and catalog shoots, all of these I used to do. What happens is we used to travel farther from the city to get the shoot done. Our process lo we don't have good quality washrooms or space or anything. And jewelry is all women oriented. They have to change outfits. They have to stay there for like 8 or 10 hour days. And the facilities were not really well equipped. ఒక గర్ల్ కి ఒక సేఫ్టీ అనేది ఎంత ఇంపార్టెంట్ దట్ వాస్ మిస్సింగ్ ఇన్ లాట్ ఆఫ్ ది లొకాలిటీస్ దట్ వి యాక్చువల్లీ వెంట్. సో దట్ యాక్చువల్లీ పించ్డ్ మీ. ఇట్స్ లైక్ ఎందుకలా వై ఇస్ ఇన్ దేర్స్ అ స్పేస్ ఫర్ కమర్షియల్ ఎస్పెషలీ బికాస్ టుడే వాట్ యూ సీ కమర్షియల్ ప్రోడక్ట్స్ are ruling the market.
Yeah.
In respect to what you say, those are things that are actually ruling the market. So I thought, okay, this is something that we have to start because this is like downgrading our own product.
True.
Literally, you don't have a space to shoot, so you're downgrading the own model. And actually, what's happening is, ee pre-wedding studios evaithe unnayo, those are the places that are being used for the commercial product shoots. It's like an insult, literally. So just the way that if you can talk about podcast start చేసినప్పుడు people didn't have studio rooms.
Yeah.
They literally went to some other places, higher places and doing. It's an insult for a podcast industry for not having a space of their own.
True.
Same is what we felt. Like I personally felt like an insult for commercial commodities that are there. That's how the journey of surreal started.
Okay, so it's a very interesting story. Psychology nunchi, styling nunchi, you're starting out a studio. And I think manamu psychology and styling thing for sure we'll explore these things.
Yes.
And surreal dagara, when you felt that okay, a lot of people are traveling across the place oka chinna photo shoot kosam, and that's so true. ఈ కార్పొరేట్ యాడ్స్ ఆర్ ఎల్స్ ఈ ఇండస్ట్రీ ఏముందో ఇట్ ఈస్ వెరీ వెల్ పేయింగ్ ఇండస్ట్రీ. అండ్ ఇంత మనీ ఉన్నా కానీ ఈ వెడ్డింగ్ స్టూడియోస్లలో ఇట్లాంటి ప్లేసెస్లలో ఎందుకు షూట్ చేస్తారో అర్థం కాదు.
ఎందుకు అంటే బికాజ్ ఐ థింక్ దర్ ఇస్ లాట్ ఆఫ్ డిమాండ్, బట్ ఆ డిమాండ్ ని ఫుల్ఫిల్ చేసే ప్లాట్ఫామ్ లేదు.
Okay.
And probably people might have thought of it, or it's not a successful business, or what it is, I really do not know. And in our research analysis, I really didn't find such places.
Okay, nice.
Or my research would not be full enough to help me associate with it. So it's actually a risky game that starting surreal is literally a risky game. Because I really didn't find a competitor whom I can compare with. So na business model and start chesinapudu I didn't know whether this is going to work out or not. Is success aitada kada kuda నాకు తెలియదు. Literally, it's a literal risk that I've taken. I think this is the biggest risk I've taken in my life right now.
That's so good because I mean ఎందుకంటే మీరు చెప్పారు కదా బిజినెస్ స్టార్ట్ చేయడం కన్నా ముందు మార్కెట్ రీసెర్చ్ అనేది ఒక ఇట్స్ అ వెరీ హ్యూజ్ కాన్సెప్ట్ వేర్ ఆ బిజినెస్ వర్క్ అవుద్దా అవదా యూ టాక్ టు పీపుల్ ఇన్ ద ఇండస్ట్రీ ఆర్ మనం ఫ్యామిలీ తోటి ఫ్రెండ్స్ తోటి డిస్కస్ చేస్తాము అండ్ దెర్ ఇస్ దిస్ సంథింగ్ కాల్డ్ every idea is a good idea, but are you the right person to execute or not?
And with the right time.
Yeah.
I think right idea needs to be implemented at a right time.
That's true.
So podcasting is a thing today. Content creation is a thing today. But 10 years down the line, if you're really trying to pursue a life in it, I think that wouldn't fetch you what it could fetch you today.
Got it. And why do you think, అంటే మీకెందుకు అనిపించింది this is a right time ఇట్లాంటి ఒక స్టూడియో పెట్టాలి అనేసి?
Okay. Post COVID నుండి what happened? మనకి కాంటెంట్ అనేది ఇంపార్టెంట్ అయిపోయింది. And that too Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts. This actually boomed after COVID. ఆ COVID period లో and post that. And a lot of people literally got vexed with their software jobs కానివ్వండి ఇది కానివ్వండి. I think that was more like a reality hit for a lot of us. అరే నేను ఇంక ఎన్ని ఇయర్స్ ఉంటా నాకు తెలియదు అట్లాంటప్పుడు why should I do a job that I'm not happy with? And చాలా మంది started diverging from that field. They started pursuing what they started liking it. So ala, I think content creation like influencers, vlogging, this became a open platform for a lot of people. And today, as I always keep telling you, content is king, content is money. Today, everyone is trying to sell through content, that is through Instagram Reels or at least YouTube Shorts, with respect to India at least if we say it. So వాళ్ళకి content create చేయడానికి they have brand, they have people who can do it, but they do not have a space that can be done.
Okay.
We wanted to bridge that gap.
Okay.
So for content creators, let's say there's a brand and వాళ్ళు clothing చేస్తారు ఆ brand, okay? That brand wants they have influencers, వాళ్ళకి connects ఉన్నాయి. They have to market their product for that specific season. Influencer unnaru, brand unnaru, they pay the influencer to get it done. Where is the influencer getting it done? I'm telling you, literally they go to hotel rooms, they go to hotel lobbies, cafes, they pay them and get the shoots done.
Okay.
Is that how you're supposed to do a shoot?
No.
No, definitely no. So that's something that literally hit me on a very, like for a very long time. That's how I thought of starting, like, okay, Sariel should be a space that one can look into.
Nice.
Commercial shoot and a promotion or reels or whatever that you talk about. When someone thinks about it, it should reflect Sariel.
Nice.
So Sariel should be synonymous to commercial shoots is what we are planning to.
Nice. And I think you're not just categorizing to one audience, that is brands, and also for content creators.
Yes, especially for content creators.
Yeah, got it. So,
ఎందుకంటే brands can find sources. They might have their own boutiques. వాళ్ళకు ఉండొచ్చు అక్కడే షూట్ చేయొచ్చు. But content creators, their face is their value. They're making money out of that and their personality and their character, what they're trying to build. అట్లాంటి వాళ్ళకి they need a space to support their talent. True. We want to become that space anamata to support and help them with whatever possible ways.
Nice. And when you started, like మనం మార్కెట్ రీసెర్చ్ చేసాం కదా, like if someone wants to build a business, ఒక మార్కెట్ రీసెర్చ్ అవుద్ది. సో Sariel స్టార్ట్ అవడం కన్నా ముందు you identified this problem because you are a stylist yourself.
Yes.
And you're going through అంటే అర్థమైంది ఓకే ఇక్కడ ఎలాంటి కాంపిటీటర్స్ కానీ సిమిలర్ కంపెనీస్ లేవు, కార్పొరేట్ యాడ్ షూట్స్ కానీ కాంటెంట్ క్రియేటర్స్ ఒక స్పేస్ ఇచ్చేటట్టు. సో వాట్ వాస్ అ మార్కెట్ రీసెర్చ్ యూ డిడ్? అంటే గూగుల్లో వెళ్ళి లైక్ ఇట్ వాస్ జస్ట్ searching or else you used to go to separate boutiques, or what kind of people you spoke?
Actually, this process started like about 1 year back.
Okay.
So precisely like exactly 1 year down the line is when this process started. ఈ ప్రాసెస్లో what I did is not only Google did help me a lot, at least to identify the places that are on similar lines. ఎట్లాంటి businesses ఉన్నాయి, ఎట్లాంటి photo studios ఉన్నాయి, because photo studio is also somewhere related to us, ఎందుకంటే they work with backgrounds. But background is not the ultimate solution. You need some content that is happening, you need some background that can help you support that. So that is also a part that helped me out. అది కాకుండా I literally went to these pre-wedding studios.
Okay.
To understand what is the model that they're working on, వాళ్ళకి వచ్చే clientele ఎలా ఉంది, what kind of sets are they working on, and what is the frequency.
Okay.
So in this process ఇదే కాకుండా I spoke to a lot of people who are into commercial products. వాళ్ళు షూట్స్ ఎలా చేస్తారు, which places do they go, how do they plan the shoots, అలా కొంతమంది కాంటెంట్ క్రియేటర్స్ తోటి కూడా మాట్లాడింటే to understand వాళ్ళు how, because these are the ultimate people who go to spaces to get the shoot done. That's when I understood that they go into hotel rooms, they're booking hotels to get the shoots done, they're renting out cafes in early morning hours or late night hours. So that when there's no, they also book such cafes that are not running well.
Okay.
So cafe ki kuda oka, I mean like it's a branding for them. Second vachesi vallaku kuda oka source of income untundi. So that's how they started doing. ఇలా ఇవన్నీ చేసినందుకు is what I understood that like I was able to justify myself, okay, this is a platform that can sustain.
Nice.
అనేది.
అండ్ యాక్చువల్లీ నేను రీసెంట్లీ ఇలాన్ మస్క్ ఒక కోట్ ఉంటుంది అనమాట. ఐ మీన్ ఐ సా సమ్ వీడియో అక్కడ దాని అంటారు, బిఫోర్ యూ స్టార్ట్ అ కంపెనీ, ఏ ఇండస్ట్రీలో స్టార్ట్ చేస్తున్నావో దాంట్లో కస్టమర్ అవ్వు. You once you're a customer,
you know the pain
you know the pain when the person is delivering you. Pain point you address just to start your own company.
Correct.
And I feel you also did something in the similar lines.
manner.
Ante same company lekapayina nearby lo unna like wedding studios aina you approach.
I literally approach them as a customer.
Yeah.
ఎందుకంటే కస్టమర్ గా నాకు ఎన్ని పాయింట్స్ అయితే ఉండవో వాళ్ళు అన్ని పాయింట్స్ నాకు అడ్రస్ చేశారు.
Okay.
లైక్ నీకు ఈ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ ఉండవు అని దే అప్ ఫ్రంట్ టోల్డ్ మీ లైక్ ఈ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ ఉండని. ఆ పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ టైం వరకు కొన్ని థింగ్స్ ఐ డోంట్ నో దట్ కుడ్ బి అ ప్రాబ్లమ్ టు మీ. వాళ్ళు చెప్పే వరకు కూడా నాకు తెలియలే ఓకే దట్ కుడ్ బి అ పాసిబుల్ ప్రాబ్లమ్ టు మీ అనేది. బట్ అట్లా కూడా చాలా థింగ్స్ తెలుసు.
దట్స్ ట్రూ. అండ్ ఒకసారి మనము ఆఫ్టర్ వీ డూ ద రీసెర్చ్ అండ్ వీ నో ఫర్ అ ఫ్యాక్ట్ దట్ ఓకే ఈ ఇండస్ట్రీ ఉంది స్పేస్, మనం ఇక్కడ కంపెనీ పెడితే ఫర్ షూర్ చాలా గ్రోత్ ఉంటుంది అనేసి, అండ్ యూ రిజిస్టర్ యువర్ కంపెనీ అండ్ ఫస్ట్ డేస్ లైక్ మన కస్టమర్స్ వచ్చేసి ఐదర్ మీ ప్రీవియస్ క్లయింట్స్ అయినా వీ కెన్ గెట్ ఇట్ ఓవర్ హియర్. అండ్ హౌ డిడ్ యూ గెట్ యువర్ ఇనీషియల్ కస్టమర్స్?
My initial customers, it was a very difficult task because నేను Saril Studios open చేసినప్పుడు we had a soft launch.
Okay.
We invited a lot of page 3 events. We did a complete PR event. Because the problem is when you launch a new product in the market, you need a lot of customer awareness.
Yeah.
And here it's not about customer awareness, but I had to uneducate my customers to educate them again.
Wow.
Because today's studio for them is a pre-wedding studio. So Saril కింద studio చూడంగానే that's the only thing that they know. It's a pre-wedding studio. No one else is related to that.
Yeah.
So I had to uneducate my clients so that they understand this is used on a commercial basis, not for the pre-wedding shoots.
Okay.
Specifically on that.
Got it.
So that is the process that we were trying to do. Initially, we did get clients through my reference, our circles and everything only. That actually helped us build the portfolio also.
Okay.
So Saril launch chesinapudu, we did a complete portfolio shoot.
Okay.
With models that I have in Connect, with the brands that I have in Connect. I've did a complimentary shoot.
Okay.
So that the brands will understand how the process is going through. Second, I can have new customers to understand how the portfolio is.
Okay, that's
సో వాళ్ళకి హెల్ప్ అవుతుంది. ఇప్పుడు నేను ఈ స్పేస్ చూపించి మీరు వాడుకోండి మీ ప్రోడక్ట్స్ కంటే వాళ్ళకి ఏం అర్థం దే వోంట్ అండర్స్టాండ్ ఎనీథింగ్.
That's true.
బట్ ఇఫ్ లెట్స్ ఐ సే ఈ ట్రీనే ఒక సారీ ప్రోడక్ట్ ఇచ్చేసి ఇఫ్ ఐ హావ్ టు షో కేస్ దే విల్ అండర్స్టాండ్ బెటర్. నేను జస్ట్ ఈ ట్రీ చూపించేస్తే దే వోంట్ అండర్స్టాండ్ ఎక్కడ యూజ్ చేయాలి, ఎందుకు యూజ్ చేయాలి.
అవునవును.
బట్ నేను ఇదే సారీ ముంగట దిస్ వెడ్డింగ్ కలెక్షన్ ఆఫ్ సారీ అన్నమాట. సో ఇదే షూట్ చేసి వాళ్ళకి అప్పుడు చూపిస్తే దట్స్ వెన్ దే అండర్స్టాండ్.
That's so true. And actually even when I was involved in different startups, right, that's what even I understood. చాలా మంది కస్టమర్స్ కి దే అప్రోచ్ ఎందుకంటే వాళ్ళకి ఎట్లా చేయాలో వాళ్ళకి ఆ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ కేపబిలిటీ లేనప్పుడే డోంట్ హావ్ దట్ కెపాసిటీ. మనమే కానీ వన్స్ వి షో దెమ్ వాట్ ద రిజల్ట్ లుక్స్ లైక్, వన్స్ వి షో దెమ్ ఇఫ్ యూ జాయిన్ us how it will look like, ఆ అవుట్కమ్ కి దే విల్ అండర్స్టాండ్. ఇట్స్ ఈజీ టు విజువలైజ్. అండ్ ఈ పోర్ట్ఫోలియో బిల్డింగ్ అనేది దిస్ ఇస్ సంథింగ్ నాట్ జస్ట్ అ ఫ్రీలాన్సర్ బట్ ఈవెన్ కంపెనీస్ హ్యాస్ టు డూ ఇట్. అండ్
when companies also కాంప్లిమెంటరీగా చేసాం. ఎందుకంటే ఈవెన్ ఫర్ అ కంపెనీ టు కమ్ బ్యాక్ టు us we need to give them a taste of it.
True.
సో అందుకే వాళ్ళకి ఒక ప్రోడక్ట్ తీసుకొని వాళ్ళకి షూట్ చేసి we sent out the samples to them.
Okay.
So they were impressed with it and they started coming back to us.
Okay.
That's the process. That's how we started working on those lines.
Okay, nice. And who was like, because I understand that oka studio build up jalante there will be a lot of team that goes into building this.
Correct.
And honestly meekunna concepts చూస్తుంటే every concept is completely very new and very nuanced. Like అర్థమవుతుంది ఒక డిజైనర్ ఒక పర్టికులర్ ఆర్ట్ డైరెక్టర్ పెట్టారు అనేసి. సో వాస్ దిస్ ఆల్ డెవలప్డ్ బై యూ ఆర్ ఎల్స్ డిడ్ యూ హైర్ అ ఫ్రీలాన్సర్ ఆర్ ఆల్సో ఒక ఫుల్ టైమర్?
So ideation wise completely mine.
Okay.
I was very specific about what is the dimension that I need, what kind of concept, ఎలా కావాలి ఏంటి, కలర్ తో ప్రతి ఒక్కటి is ideation from completely my end. But I had a very good team who got it executed for me. So he's an art director who works for movies.
Okay.
Yeah. So tana help toti I could literally get into shape.
Okay.
Like all my ideas, my visualizations are in shape today is definitely because of him.
Nice. So was he like your friend who helped you to build it or else
no,
freelance?
Completely commercial only.
Okay.
Yeah. He used to work for movies and that's how I went with a project proposal.
Okay.
And tana kuda our time flexible cheskoni we thought it was a 1 month project but it turned out to be 2 months project. So
nice.
It extended.
ఇప్పుడు ఒక పర్టికులర్ కంపెనీ బిల్డప్ చేయాలనుకున్నా కానీ ఐ ఫీల్ టీమ్ ఇస్ వెరీ మచ్ ఇంపార్టెంట్. అండ్ we spoke about how did you get customers, కానీ who were the initial hires you did it in the studio?
So I mean, I wouldn't say art director was in hire on a long-term basis, but project basis.
Okay.
And even today, I maintain a relationship with my art director because we keep customizing the sets.
Okay.
That's the USP of Surreal and Japari. And whenever we have requirement, he comes on board with us on a project basis. So looks like he's the first hire for us. Adi kakunda, we have hospitality team and we have operations and styling head.
Okay.
So we provide in-house styling anamata.
Okay.
Because styling is a subject, Hyderabad lo and Southern lo ekwa value ledu, but North lo they are giving a very good respect for it. Hyderabad lo it is coming up. I feel in the South also it is picking up a little. So we wanted to give our clients the styling essence to understand how best they can utilize the space.
Okay.
Just the way I mentioned, నేను స్పేస్ ఇస్తా వాళ్ళ దగ్గర ప్రోడక్ట్ ఉంటుంది కానీ ఎలా వాడుకోవాలనేది మనం చూపించే వరకు తెలియదు కొన్నిసార్లు.
Got it.
That's where my team comes in place.
Okay.
So వాళ్ళు just ఒక ప్రోడక్ట్ ఇస్తే we create a mood board for them to show them how the output can look like a nearest output ఎట్లా ఉంటుంది, and then we execute the shoot.
Okay, nice. And if I have to elaborate on that question, like firstly you have an art director, then the hospitality team, operations, styling.
Yes.
So hospitality team యొక్క responsibilities ఏముంటాయి?
So during shoots అయ్యేటప్పుడు as you see lot of mobility ఉంటుంది, like everything is like just like plug and play. ఒక ప్రాపర్టీ ఇక్కడ వద్దు వేరే దగ్గర షిఫ్ట్ చేయాలి అన్నా కూడా everything is taken care by the hospitality team.
Okay, got it. And in case for example let's discuss ఒక ad వచ్చింది, ఒక brand వచ్చింది, and you told you prepare mood boards and all, right? Let's go through the process a bit. For example, I have a fashion brand and నేను దాని ఏమంటారు, I want it's a men fashion brand, they put rib blazers and stuff.
Okay.
Classic. So if they come to you, how do you prepare that ad photo shoot ఎలా ఉండాలి? How does it onboarding and how does the process looks like?
Okay. So the first step that we start is sit with the brand. వాళ్ళతో కూర్చొని వాళ్ళ న్యూ కలెక్షన్, జనరలీ న్యూ కలెక్షన్స్ ఉంటేనే they start doing the shoot. Either new collection or the festive season. Either of them will be the criteria. So let's say you're launching blazers for a wedding season that's coming in November and December.
Got it.
So these are the inputs first I take from the brand. I understand what is the story behind the launch of their collection.
Okay.
Because generally if they launch a collection, they have a story.
Okay.
They have a bottom line. Okay, this is the trend of the season. Ano edo okati cheppi they start a collection anamata. So we understand the collection. Daan tarvata my team, my in-house styling team, they sit on the complete mood of it. So let's say colors anni manaki blacks, blues and dark tones lo. So atlanti colors ఉన్నప్పుడు what is the background that we should go?
Okay.
ఎట్లాంటి మోడల్ ఉండాలి, what should be the physics of the model, who could be the possible aspects of that model, what should be the age of the model.
Okay.
Should the model look more aged or should they look somewhere between 25s or in the teens or something, because that will help us understand the target audience.
Okay.
So the client maki details istar saying that we want to address the 20s to 30s age group lo address here. We try to source such kind of models. Endukante models eppudaithe they are related to the target audience, they connect easy. And that's when the product sells also better. So ivanti analysis chesina tarvata we do a mood board to help them understand what is the background, what are the colors that we're using, what kind of models are we putting in, what is the theme that we're trying to show them. Output ila untadi.
Okay. So mood board ante mood board lo entante you will send them a digital file. Aa digital file lo వాళ్ళు మీతో collaborate అవుతే outcome ఎలా ఉంటుందో ఒక 3D drawings and something like that.
Let's say if this is a background, if you're talking about this background, this is a set I'm doing. So I'm just a set pictures పంపిస్తాం. What are the properties that we are using? Outfit pictures పంపిస్తాం and the model pictures. So when all of them are put together in a collage, they get a visualization. Okay, when these things are clubbed, this is going to be my output. And a visualization వాళ్ళకి వస్తుంది. Because ఒక layman కి ఇది అని చూపించడం is very difficult.
That's true.
Because the way they perceive could be different from what we are trying to convey. అందుకే pictorial గా we put it together. So mood board అనేది is all pictorial.
Okay.
So these are the color combinations we are using. These are the properties. ఇట్లాంటి elements use చేస్తున్నాం. ఈ model ఉంటుంది.
Okay.
This is all put together in one single sheet. Will give you a gist అన్నమాట of the mood.
Okay, nice. So once a mood board వాళ్ళ దగ్గర వెళ్ళిన తర్వాత they can understand how the outcome would look like. And then
they give suggestions also. They're like, okay, na brand mood is not like this, but we can try something on a lower tone ante we mellow it down completely. Ledo if the brand is very extremist and they want to play a lot with the properties and elements, we add lot of properties and elements. Ledo if the brand is very minimal ante itlanti just oka simple was pettadamu lekapothe itla a simple elements is what we add.
Okay, got
That's
it.
when we have a discussion with the client.
Okay. So
After that, what we do is, in case the brand doesn't have any of the connects with them, we have a complete community of photographers, videographers, cinematographers, models, makeup artists, jewelry, fashion brands and everything. So we have blazers and all of it. Right now, what people are doing is they're embellishing the blazers with brooches, atlanti elements.
Got it.
So you need a jewelry brand that can support it. I can get in connect with a jewelry brand who can collab with them.
గాట్ ఇట్. సో మీరు ఏం చేశారంటే కమ్యూనిటీని బిల్డ్ అవుట్ చేశారు. యూఆర్ మోర్ లైక్ అ లాంచ్ ప్యాడ్ వేర్ ఒక పర్టికులర్ కార్పొరేట్ బ్రాండ్ వస్తే they have no idea of how to do it,
but still they can do it.
Okay, got it. And once the shooting is done, do you even do the post, that is editing and all?
So that's generally taken care by the photographer or the videographer who they hire.
Okay.
It's their part of it. Generally when they hire, it's for on shoot and post edits also.
Okay, got it. And ఇప్పుడు ఒక brand కి the kind of advantage Surreal gives is I understand. Right. But if there is a content creator, let's say a fashion or a food, let's take food blogging or a food as an industry. ఇప్పుడు ఆ particular person, if they want to get advantage of Surreal or if they want to collaborate with Surreal, వాళ్ళు ఎలా అవ్వచ్చు?
So you mean a food blogger? వాళ్ళు ఎలా అవ్వచ్చు అనేది. One thing that I can see is first they can get the food shoots done here.
Okay.
Product shoots which are on cold end. I wouldn't say the hot foods that can served in the restaurant, they cannot be done because it transportation lo things dissolve అయిపోతాయి. But something like cold storages like bake houses ఇట్లాంటివి అనుకోండి, we do shoots for them also depending on the season. So that could be an advantage. Second, food bloggers వచ్చేసరికి today they have lot of engagement.
That's
so true. I think food bloggers are not restricted to food blogging, but they're open to all arenas of industry that is there. So our next plan to further venture out is to get a lot of vloggers on board with us. And what we are planning to do is get associated with the brands so that whenever the brands want to do the shoots, instead of getting not only getting models on board, we can get influencers on board.
Okay.
So danvalla emaitadi ante they become the brand, they can endorse them. And food bloggers ki kuda they get a stream of revenue, continuous stream of revenue every month anamata.
That's so true. And వాళ్ళకి బేసిక్గా నాకు తెలిసి ఎలాంటి ఫ్యాషన్ బ్లాగర్స్ ఆర్ ఇన్ఫ్లుయెన్సర్స్ ఇన్ జనరల్ కాంటెంట్ క్రియేటర్స్ కి మెయిన్ ప్రాబ్లమ్ వచ్చేసి ఏంటంటే స్కౌటింగ్ ఆర్ గెట్టింగ్ దిస్ బ్రాండ్ డీల్స్ అవుతాయి.
Yes.
And if there is a platform,
that's already there because we have brands here, we have influencers here.
We
are a platform where we can connect both together. And we already have a studio and we can customize the set as per the requirement kabatti it's much easier that way for a content creator.
For sure. And I think right now considering మొత్తం established ఉంది కాబట్టి how does you look Surreal in future, like మీ vision ఏంటి in regards to scale, like do you want to make sure that ఇలాంటి setups ఇంకా multiple places లలో you only want to do it or else you want to give out in some other model?
So our next plan, so we want to wait up to 1 year. It's been about 6 months, like this is 6 months old.
Okay.
So we want to wait up to 1 year. We do have a lot of people who are ready to take franchises. That's the model that I'm seeing to scale up right now.
Nice.
Especially the central and the southern part of India is what I'm focused on. Because that's where market is there. North lo ledan kaadu because north lo too diluted untadi market. But southern and central lo it's very much there. It's booming. It's not that it's diluted or saturation. It started picking up right now. So next 10 years down the line, I see a lot of market that can be captured. So we are open to franchisees.
Nice. And how did you get the idea of franchise? Because usually franchisees ante usually clothing and food lone chusuntamu. Studios like never heard of a franchisee model. How did you come up with this idea?
I think there's only single policy when you want to scale up. You can't do it by yourself. You need someone who can support you so that you can scale. And for us, Surreal as this one branch is not the ultimatum. This is our pilot project to understand pros and cons, everything. And later to scale it up. Scale it up anappudu you have to give it out to someone whom you can trust on. So who could those people be? Someone who's coming from a photography background or someone who is into cinematography or someone who aims to be on those lines or someone who comes from an art direction background. For them, it's easy to get it in place, but because we've already gone through the whole process, maku telusu what is working, what is not working anedi, that will help when we are giving out franchises. And second franchisee ichinappudu why I'm talking about a person ante, let's say if I'm moving to Chennai or Bangalore, akkada stats and dynamics are not same as Bangalore. Akkada crowd mentality and the brands that are approaching is not the same as Hyderabad here. So akkada their locals can give a better edge compared to what I can do. Ippudu nenu elli nenu akkada setup chesukovalante oka 1 year nenu fail avvalemo to understand the learners. Why should I waste that 1 year? Dan badalu I can work in collaboration with someone who already knows the market there.
ఈ 6 months లో the kind of studio you have already built and ఇప్పుడు 1 year లో franchises కూడా you're thinking to scale, right? Are you already a planned or else you have like a vision, that kind of person? Because I think ఒక business పెట్టాలంటే a kind of business acumen and ఒక certain kind of mindset undali. Do you have that mindset by general from childhood or else did you have any other mentors or someone who help you go through this?
I think innately I'm such a person.
Okay.
So like the pilot project and I'm very clear because this is to help. I know this is a risk factor and this is helping me grow to understand pros and cons. So I'm very clear with it. Scale jeyalane aspect thote we started a pilot project to understand like whatever risk it is, we have to close it in the pilot project and then just flourish further. Scale up kavadam tapte there's no other sea that we can see.
Okay.
And coming to mentors, definitely I have mentors. My father and my father-in-law, both of them. Like, I think the reason I'm standing here with all the support is literally both of them and the families, both the families that supported me.
Nice.
I think, yeah, they are my biggest mentors till date.
Nice. And let's see, like, because I told you, right? అన్నిటికన్నా పెద్ద ఇంట్రెస్టింగ్ నాకు ఏమనిపించింది అంటే యూ స్టార్టెడ్ విత్ సైకాలజీ అండ్ స్టైలింగ్, దాని తర్వాత ఈ బిజినెస్. సో ఫస్ట్లీ సైకాలజీ తీసుకోవాలన్న ఇంట్రెస్ట్ ఎక్కడి నుంచి వచ్చింది? వాజ్ ఇట్ యువర్ ఓన్ ఇంట్రెస్ట్ ఆర్ సమ్వన్ ఎల్స్?
My own interest, and I mean, I think about 10 years, 12 years down the line, when I wanted to take psychology, people hardly know what psychology is. Like, people thought it's somewhere dealing with mentally retarded people is called psychology. Ante antak minchi inkovarki em teliyadu. I think that's where my father actually supported me. I come from a business background, so ultimately doing business is something that people look at. So psychology teeskovalane thought kuda my dad's been a support system for me to diverge into a new field and explore it. And I just couldn't pursue further because I couldn't do my masters and everything. So that's the reason I didn't go ahead with it. But I think whatever I learned as psychology from the textbooks or whatever principles, I still understand, and innately I keep following them. I try analyzing things. So I wouldn't say psychology as a subject helped me in a career, but it did help me in my personal way, in my personal growth also.
Nice. So are you the kind of a person, ఒక నైట్ వెళ్ళేటప్పుడు you self reflect your thought, ఒక యాక్షన్ తీసుకున్నావు అంటే ఎందుకు యాక్షన్ తీసుకున్నావు?
Very much. I retrospect a lot. Chala retrospection untadi for every action that I do or every act that I do. I have a lot of retrospection into it, and I have a lot of thought process that goes into it when I take a decision also.
Nice. And like when you see, when like professional self, right, like when you talk to people, they'll see when that psychology theorems or something like theories, you'd be like, okay, vidila behave chestunnadu.
Not really. But I think those are things that we would have learnt out in our masters, more practical. So what we do in our bachelors is more theoretical. To establish the base biologically, how it functions, how things function, and this is what we learn in our bachelors. Masters, it's more of practicality that we see. So I haven't really reached that stage, so I cannot comment on it. But definitely, it does help me personally on my daily life also, a lot of things.
So is there any practice that you do? Like recently what I started doing is in a to-doist పెట్టుకున్నాను. To-doist ఏంటంటే I have to finish this. If I don't finish this, ఒక దాన్ని ఏమంటారు, I have to give my friend 500 rupees. So he has access to that to-doist. So నాది పెట్టుకున్నప్పటి నుంచి వాడికి 500 ఇవ్వద్దనైనా I start doing it things liberately. So and I used to write journal. Like there is something called free writing. Free writing అంటే ఏంటంటే you at night కూర్చొని 10 నిమిషాలు ఏం ఆలోచించద్దు, గ్రామర్ నథింగ్, మైండ్లో వచ్చిన 10 minutes థాట్ మొత్తం టైప్ చేస్తూ పోవాలి. యూ థింక్ ఇట్స్ ఈజీ, ఫస్ట్ డే ఈజీగా ఉంటుంది, సెకండ్ డే ఏంటంటే వాట్ యూ స్టార్ట్ డూయింగ్ ఇస్ ఈరోజు ఏం జరిగింది, వాడు ఇలా చేశాడు, వీడు ఇలా చేశాడు. వెన్ యూ కీప్ రైటింగ్ ఇట్ నాకు ఒక ఆటోమేటిక్గా స్టార్ట్ థింకింగ్, ఈ టైంలో ఇలా ఎందుకు రియాక్ట్ అవ్వా, ఈ పర్టికులర్ పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ టైం ఇంకేం చేయొచ్చు. సో ఆర్ దేర్ ఎనీ డిఫరెంట్ ప్రాక్టీసెస్ దట్ యూ డూ?
I generally don't reveal this out, but I believe a lot in law of attraction. So it talks indirectly about manifesting. So whatever you manifest happens, Anirudh. So that's something that I started doing in my recent times as well. Until this is something that I know since long. But I'm the serious guy. But it does help a lot. I think a lot of people who are actually looking at a way, or someone who's very disappointed about life, something that's not going right, I think this is something that they have to try.
For sure. I mean, నేను ఎక్కడో చదివాను, where I'll tell you how manifestation also happens really is that మనం ఒకసారి మేనిఫెస్ట్ చేస్తూ ఉంటే, like once you consider yourself as a certain person, నేను ఒక ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ మనము ఓవరాల్ వరల్డ్ పర్స్పెక్టివ్ అలా మారిపోతుందంట. బికాజ్ ఇట్స్ మోర్ లైక్ మీ ఐడెంటిటీ అలా వెళ్ళిపోతూ ఉంటుంది. లైక్ స్లోలీ యూఆర్ బై లైక్ ఒక నేను ఒక ఆంటర్ప్రెన్యూర్ అని 100 సార్లు అనుకున్నప్పుడు ఏమవుతుందంటే ద కైండ్ ఆఫ్ కాంటెంట్ యూ వాచ్ విల్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ బికమ్ దట్.
And the way you start thinking, mana alochanalu, mana pravartana, everything starts changing. Not drastically, but element by element, it starts changing.
It's a first step, I think, towards a change.
True.
So I think this kind of an area, right, mind space lo దట్ ఈస్ వెరీ మచ్ నీడెడ్ రైట్ నౌ ఈవెన్ ఇన్ ద క్రౌడ్. బికాస్ మన దాంట్లో ఎట్లుంటుంది అంటే వన్ డిసిజన్ దట్ దే టేక్, ఆ డిసిజన్ని నేను మార్చుకోలేనేమో అన్నట్టు అదే జోన్లో వెళ్ళిపోతూ ఉంటారు. లైక్ యూ టుక్ సైకాలజీ, సైకాలజిస్ట్ ఆర్ థెరపీ, క్లినికల్ సైకాలజిస్ట్, దట్ వుడ్ బి అన్ ఆప్షన్. కానీ యువర్ లైక్ ఓకే నేను సైకాలజీ తీసుకున్నా కదా ఇక్కడే చేస్తానని లేకుండే. సో వెన్ డిడ్ దట్ స్విచ్ కేమ్? లైక్ సైకాలజీ యూ హావ్ డన్ యువర్ బ్యాచులర్స్ ఓవర్ దేర్, దాని తర్వాత స్టైలింగ్లో ఆ స్టైలింగ్ వరల్డ్కి ఎట్లా ఎంట్రీ వచ్చింది? లైక్ యువర్ లైక్
fashion was always part of me. Like I didn't have to study something so that I can know fashion. It was always part of me. I think it's because of my dad or mom or whatever, but that's an innate thing for me. So styling subject was there for a part time. Like just because we had COVID and we had some time, I thought of like pursuing further into it, and Allah that happened. Post that I started practicing it. So subject actually helped me start practicing it. Franga Japali ante. It's not, I wouldn't say I haven't learned anything, but I have learned something, but there are a lot of things that I learned while doing it. Rather than the course, I started learning a lot of things while I was practicing it. So, Allah, a diversion.
So, are you like that person who was already you're the person in the group who is very much more styled, well dressed, and friends come to you for advice?
I mean, like, they do come for advice, but I'm definitely that person. I was like, I think that's my personality. Wherever I am, I'm having my identity. People know me that I'm there. If I'm walking into a room, people have to know that I'm there.
Okay, that's nice. And I think styling industry, is it like male dominated or female dominated crowd? Because almost all the stylists I see are like mostly women. At least na Instagram at like train ayundemo ani. So how do you think that works in the industry?
I think that's actually changing right now. Previously it was in that way. A lot of men dominated unde because styling mainly comes, our niche ane styling ochindi because of the movie industry. Like people started recognizing stylists for the movie industry. Either they work for the movies or for the artists themselves. So the movie schedules, as you know, they're very off. Like oka timing antu undadu edi undadu. So women ki chala restrictions untai. Okasari bayatiki ellalana, family or once they get married, in-laws place lo gani, they have a lot of restrictions. Considering that number of women in that industry was much less. But I think as the dynamics are changing and as the world is accepting it, and even women are taking stand for their career or their choice, lot of women are getting into styling right now.
Okay, nice. And ఇప్పుడు స్టైలింగ్ లో ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఒక కెరియర్ బిల్డ్ చేసుకోవాలనుకుంటే హౌ డు దే డూ ఇట్? లైక్ లింక్డ్ఇన్ లోనా, ఇన్స్టాగ్రామ్ లోనా దే quote themselves as stylists, or how do they approach? Like
I think apart from all the platforms that are there online, it's the word of mouth, your work, and the people that give you references. Unless you are in that pond, you wouldn't grow. Being a LinkedIn profile and you're out of that pond, you can never grow. People don't even identify you.
Got it.
So I think having the profiles is the basic thing that you maintain, but adi kaakunta being in that community is what's going to help you grow. Ante.
How to get in that community?
So working as assistants, freelancing, writing out to the established stylists kaniyandi, costume designers kaniyandi, వాళ్ళకి reach out అవ్వడం, telling that we are available for an internship free of cost. Definitely. You can't expect anything in the movie industry, but yes, free of cost.
Telling అంటే like the thing is, it's very funny how creative industry లో అందరికన్నా ఎక్కువ efforts వాళ్ళకే పడతాయి, and they are the pay dynamic is very weird. It's either in pennies or in like lakhs or crores. It goes very high. Like madhyalo midway undane undadu.
Definitely, as you mentioned, two ways ante. Either you're extremely high or you're extremely low. So that is there, but I think oka low nunchi over a period of time. So it's not even number of projects that you do, but I think over a period of time is when they start earning. At least from people that I know, my friends who are into the industry already, I've been seeing them strive for about 3 years, 4 years. It's not that they're doing very great, but I'm sure like 1-2 years down the line, they'll definitely start earning in lakhs. That is definitely there. And the ones that are established today, they are minting it. Literal minting it.
And ఇప్పుడు because you're in the studio business, right, in the creative space, what two professions do you think make so much money? Like is it the art director or the face of the magazine, like the model, influencer, or else studio owner who makes so much?
I think that's a very difficult question. Depending on which part of the industry you are there, it changes. And inkokati, the momentum that you are building, especially in your own industry, that also changes. So there could be a model who works for 5,000. There could be a model who works for the 50,000 for the same amount of work in the time. So it depends. It's very personal thing, I would say.
Okay.
And I don't think there's a scale or a measure that we can say, okay, this industry is earning higher than this industry.
And
there are art directors who are striving for days survival. They work on daily projects.
Okay.
There are art directors who are doing big shot movies also. And they just like earn like this.
Okay.
Same with stylists, costume designers. I think the whole industry is like that. Coming to movie industry especially.
And in generally, మన పాడ్కాస్ట్లో ఏంటంటే we try to see where are the gaps in the market. And in creative space చూసేటప్పుడు the gap that I identified is ఇప్పుడు యాజ్ అ ఫ్యాషన్ బ్రాండ్ ఇఫ్ ఐమ్ స్టార్ట్అప్ ఇఫ్ ఐమ్ స్టార్టింగ్ అవుట్ నాకు ఒక పర్టిక్యులర్ మోడల్ కానీ ఒక పర్టిక్యులర్ ఫోటోషూట్ చేయాలంటే ద ఈజియెస్ట్ థింగ్ దట్ ఐ వుడ్ గో ఇస్ టు గో ఆన్ ఇన్స్టాగ్రామ్ ఫ్యాషన్ బ్లాగర్స్ అని కొడితే వచ్చే ఫోటోస్ తీసుకొని ఐ విల్ డూ ఇట్. ఇట్ వుడెంట్ బి ద సేమ్ థింగ్ విత్ బ్రాండ్స్ వుడ్ అప్రోచ్ స్టూడియోస్ లైక్ యోర్స్ హూ విల్ ఆస్క్. సో the market that I identified in this creative space is the market of this launch pads. Like where this is a good space to create a company on. And do you think what are the major problems ఈ ఇండస్ట్రీలో కాంటెంట్ క్రియేషన్? ఇప్పుడు సౌత్లో ఇఫ్ యూ సీ కాంటెంట్ క్రియేషన్ ఆర్ కార్పొరేట్ యాడ్స్ చూసుకున్నట్లయితే వాట్ ఆర్ ద టూ మేజర్ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ యూ పర్టికులర్లీ ఫేస్ that if this is solved your job would be much more easier అన్నట్టు?
I think one is the connectivity with the community itself.
Okay.
Like photographers unnaru, videographers unnaru. Photographers have their own communities. Videographer valakundi. Models ki ala modeling agencies unnai. Lot of entities are there but oka single platform le.
Okay.
So if everything can be got on one single platform, I think there are there. The small ones are there, something very related to industry or something very related to action. But I think universal ga, if okka platform undi, like I think the simplest should be like Just Dial. You go on Just Dial, you know that you get contacts of everyone.
That's true.
So Atlanti oka community, if that is there, I think it solves a lot of problems. Endukante in this generation, lot of startups are coming, homegrown brands are coming. Vallaki social media presence techukodam is a very big hassle. For them, running a business is easy than running their social media page.
That's true.
Because they don't know where to go, how to find out, how to scout for these people and how to get things done. So that is one thing. And I think that's where we are also trying to be there. Second is the space, as I mentioned, the space, the studio as such is not there, Anedi, is my personal opinion. That's how Surreal had come into existence.
Okay.
So the second one definitely we're building, and the first point I mentioned Jesana about the community, that's what we are trying to inculcate also.
Nice. And in general, when you're trying to solve a problem, right, ఇప్పుడు ఒక పర్టికులర్ పర్సన్ కానీ ఐ థింక్ ఎవ్రీ ఆంటర్ప్రెన్యూర్కి ఒక క్రైటీరియా ఉంటుంది. ఇఫ్ దే వాంట్ టు ఇన్వెస్ట్ ఆర్ ఎల్స్ ఇన్ అ పర్సన్ or in a company or their own idea diversification and agani, what are those 3 criteria that goes in your mind before you invest your energy, money or anything on? It can be a person or anything. How do you classify it? Like for me personally, the criteria I have is it something that I'm excited about? Like na passion self resemble avutunda leda. So if it's in media or in a D2C space, I'm very much excited about these 2 spaces. So I invest in it. Or else is this a futuristic industry? And thirdly, is this person has that partnerships in the industry. Like for example, you starting a Surreal studio would make sense rather than a software engineer. Because you come from a styling background, so it's easier for you. So are there any criteria or how do you judge a business?
I wouldn't say judging a business, but couple of things that I see that I can be inclined towards is, first is a passion. Ante nee manaki personal ga interest unnanta varke you can sustain in that. Otherwise you can't sustain on a long term basis. So passion is first that I look at personally. Second is the scalability and the growth. How further can you fetch from it and how can you monetize that? Because ultimate aim of a business is to monetize out of it. That's the second thing. Third thing coming to is, I see what kind of community are we trying to build. Are we making it better or bad?
Okay.
So if we are on a better end, definitely it's a go.
Okay.
Any business has both the sides. So are you doing good to the society or are you doing, not bad as such, but are you worsening the situation?
Got it.
That's what I could actually see the 3 aspects as.
Nice. And are you a person who is growth driven or revenue driven? Like how you want to build Surreal as?
I think there are 2 things. If you ask me as a person, I'm a growth driven, which is not monetary. It's a growth. So it's a personal growth that I see if I started at this point, today at what point am I there? That is my personal thing. But when I'm talking about Surreal, I talk in monetary basis. Where I started, where am I today? So 2 different things, 2 different answers.
No, like I'll tell you. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ గ్రోత్ అన్నాం అనుకో, యూఆర్ మోర్ టువర్డ్స్ గెటింగ్ ఫండింగ్, గ్రోయింగ్ యువర్ వాల్యుయేషన్, స్కేలింగ్ ఇట్ సూపర్ హెవీలీ. రెవెన్యూ అని అంటే ద సేమ్ థింగ్, యూ వోంట్ గెట్ ఫండింగ్, టర్న్ ఓవర్, మేకింగ్ మోర్ ఆఫ్ రెవెన్యూ అవుట్ ఆఫ్ ఇట్. సో విచ్ వన్ ఆర్ యూ మోర్ inclined? Are you looking forward to raise any funding?
Right now, no. As I mentioned, franchisee model of funding aspect is cut down completely. That's what I'm looking at right now. So to be on a more safer end, if you can say that, franchisees I feel is a safer model. But in case if I find there are better growth opportunities by going for funding and looking at it, definitely will explore.
Nice. And for example, if you have to see, I think a person is made with the kind of content they consume. And what kind of content do you watch or consume? Like, is it more business or completely movies? Like, what kind of things you watch?
I think my whole feed is filled with these inspiration, motivation, and these, what do I say, these podcasts who talk about business, growth, geopolitics. I think all diverse information is what keeps me alive. So I start my day listening to news. So yeah, that's how I start my day.
Don't you think it's a very bad idea to start with news? It's all negative.
News as in, not that kind of news, but at least I think I know it has both of it, but that's how I was like, okay, before I start my day, I know what happened when I was asleep. Was the main motive of it. Not that I carry, I think I'm capable enough to at least filter out that. So I don't have to take in all the negative, but I can just filter it out there itself.
And what are the podcasts you listen to?
I think my favorite is Ranveer's Biceps, and then Ganesh Thinks Cool, and Nikhil Kamad's Zerodha podcast that he recently started. These are a couple of things that I'm very intrigued to.
For example, Nikhil Kamath podcast undanko, they go for 8 hour long. ఆ 8 hours తీసుకున్న తర్వాత they figure out 4 hours ఎక్కడ కట్ చేయాలనేసి.
Really?
Yeah.
They spend 8 hours, 8-hour long conversations.
అవును. అండ్ అందుకే కదా, లైక్ దే హ్యావ్ ద బ్రేక్ఫాస్ట్, లంచ్ అక్కడే చేసేసుకొని. అండ్ బికాస్ వాట్ హ్యాపెన్స్ విత్ పాడ్కాస్టర్స్, ఈ మధ్యలో చాలా మంది ఇంటర్వ్యూకి ఇంకా పాడ్కాస్ట్కి దే డోంట్ హ్యావ్ ద డిఫరెన్స్. ఇంటర్వ్యూ ఏంటంటే ఒక ఆబ్జెక్టివ్ తోటి, లైక్ యూ గో ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ మూవీ ప్రమోషన్, ఆ మూవీ రిలేటెడ్ మాట్లాడతాం. అండ్ ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ పాడ్కాస్ట్ ఉందనుకో, ఇట్స్ జస్ట్ లైక్ ఇప్పుడు మనం వచ్చి వీఆర్ జస్ట్ టాకింగ్ అండ్ even with the general conversation kind of thing.
So I don't even listen to the podcast at one length. So my attention span is very low. So I listen to shorts.
Okay. Or the clips. That's the reason they started clips.
For people like me, definitely.
It's very useful, dude, because what happens is YouTube lo endante 1 hour 30 minutes conversation, no one listens. They don't understand because honestly ఎవరికి ఓపిక ఉండదు.
Attention span okay, Instagram reel of 3 seconds. How can we expect someone to listen to a 1 hour podcast unless they have some bits and bytes out of it?
It's like giving a taste, a demo out.
Exactly.
Nachte you'll listen
then
to the
go back,
then listen to the whole thing.
Exactly.
And I think even like Nikhil Kamath's podcast, right? I really like that also for that reason. And clips lo you understand what they're going to talk about.
So you don't have to watch the whole thing.
I don't have to watch the whole thing. And only when, like for example, D2C undi, media undi, or food related okati chesaru vallu. Those were something I listened as like, okay, I'm interested in this aspect anesi. And do you watch movies?
Yes, a lot.
Who is your favorite hero or a director?
At seasonal.
Okay.
Seasonal ga hero change అయిపోతుంటా.
But which one is a recent movie you watched?
That's Guntur Karam.
Okay, were you disappointed?
Not much, but okay. I think it's okay sometimes.
Okay, so
you can't have all success all the time.
True. And more of Telugu or English? Like what kind of movies you watch?
Telugu.
Oh, no?
Proper Telugu movies.
Oh, no?
Yeah. More inclined towards such movies.
Okay.
If they have a storyline, any language I'm fine. I watch Tamil, Malayalam movies with subtitles also.
Wow.
It should have a good storyline.
Okay.
More of detective, thriller, that's the genre that I'm inclined towards.
Nice. And even, do you think Surreal Studios future lo you'll make any movies or short films?
I think podcast is a better idea. Short films, movies is a long-term commitment. I don't see anything nearby that right now. But definitely podcast is something that we are exploring also.
Okay.
And as I mentioned, like a launchpad, we want to be a platform for content creators and that.
Okay.
Atlani, even for podcasters who are planning to start the career in podcasting right now, for them we want to be a platform. We can provide them with the equipment, space and everything. They can come down, utilize the space, get their podcast done for a couple of months. They get a better understanding. They can get their own studio set up then.
Nice. So what you're saying is a particular person, if they want to start their own podcast,
Yes.
Surreal to collaborate,
Yes.
they can start it out
Right.
as a start.
Yes.
Nice.
As in, like, what I'm saying is, let's say you are there.
Yeah.
You're starting your career. You're already a software engineer or something, but you want to switch your career or move. You just can't go buy the equipment, buy the space and start kada. Because it's not a viable option. Even you are at a stage, at a testing stage. నాకు ఇది వర్కౌట్ అవుతుందా రాదా, నాకు ఏం కమర్షియల్స్ ఉంటే ఏం ఫైనాన్షియల్స్ ఉంటే ఎలా అవుతుంది. So let's say 6 months you want to put it on a trial period.
Okay.
That time, why do you want to buy something?
Yeah.
When you already have a space that can rent it out, you prefer renting out the space, utilizing and then
God,
planning your future for it.
Yeah.
6 months lo at least oka dynamics you'll understand. Are you growing? Are you at the same stage? Or is it working for you? Not? And it kuda ardham aitadi.
That's so true. And I think this as an industry is growing very much. Endukante Telugulo at least I see a lot of people starting their own podcast.
Very true.
Like very much. Like నేను స్టార్ట్ చేసినప్పుడు I think hardly there was not even a single person 2020 lo 2021 2022 lo people started growing, and now there is like one mainstream podcast as well, and there are many other podcasts growing up. So I think you were the one who told me that gold rush analogy, right?
Yes.
Tell that again. Like I think guests will love it.
Okay, so there's this theory called shovel and pick theory. So this is an incident that happened in America in 1980s anamata. ఏమైంది అంటే while they were mining, they found a complete gold mine. So దాని చుట్టుపక్కల ఉన్న డిస్ట్రిక్ట్స్ నుంచి పీపుల్ అందరూ దే స్టార్టెడ్ ఫ్లాకింగ్ టువర్డ్స్ ఇట్, మైన్ చేసుకొని గోల్డ్. సో మైన్ చేయగానే మనకు గోల్డ్ డైరెక్ట్ రాదు, రాక్ వస్తుంది, దాన్ని ప్రాసెస్ చేసినాక గోల్డ్ వస్తుంది. సో ఈ ప్రాసెస్లో ఇట్స్ అ క్వశ్చన్, ఈ ప్రాసెస్లో ఎవ్వరు అందరికన్నా రిచ్ అయి ఉంటారు ఇస్ మై క్వశ్చన్ టు యూ గైస్.
I think the who got gold.
Everyone's answer is probably ఎవరైతే ఎక్కువ గోల్డ్ తీసుకున్నారో వాళ్ళే రిచ్ అయి ఉంటారు అని. బట్ యాక్చువల్ థియరీ ఏం చెప్తుంది అంటే దోస్ పీపుల్ హూ సపోర్టెడ్ ది మైనర్స్, ఎవరైతే మైన్ చేసుకోవడానికి వచ్చారో వాళ్ళకి ఎక్విప్మెంట్, షావెల్, పికిల్ అనేది దోస్ ఆర్ ఇన్స్ట్రుమెంట్స్ సో దట్ యూ కెన్ మైన్ థింగ్స్ అనమాట. షావెల్, పికిల్, దేర్ లైట్స్ సో దట్ దే కెన్ సీ, అండ్ దేర్ యూనిఫార్మ్స్. ఇవి ఎవరైతే సప్లై చేశారో ఈ ప్రాసెస్లో they became the millionaires.
Damn.
మొత్తం ఈ ఒక 6 months any months, I'm not sure of the number of months, ఆ పీరియడ్ లో these were the people who became millionaires.
Okay.
So the bottom line is, వచ్చిన ప్రతి ఒక్కరు గోల్డ్ తీసుకొని వెళ్ళారు, రిచ్ అయిపోయారనే ప్రాబబిలిటీ కాదు. చాలా మందికి ఓన్లీ రాక్ దొరుకుంటుంది, అట్లా గోల్డే ఉండకపోవచ్చు. సో కొంతమంది ఫెయిల్ అవుతారు, కొంతమంది సక్సెస్ అవుతారు. బట్ ద వన్ హూ కెన్ ప్రొవైడ్ ది ఎక్విప్మెంట్ ఆర్ ది ఇండస్ట్రీ సపోర్ట్, ఒక ఇండస్ట్రీ రష్ వచ్చినప్పుడు ఎవరైతే సపోర్ట్ సిస్టమ్ ఇవ్వగలుగుతారో దే ఆర్ ది వన్స్ హూ కెన్ ప్రొవైడ్, బికమ్ ద మిలియనర్స్. ఇస్ ద బాటమ్ లైన్ నా అండర్స్టాండింగ్.
That's a good idea కదా. ఎందుకంటే యూజువల్లీ వాట్ ఐ ఫీల్ ఇస్ ఒక పర్టికులర్ ఇండస్ట్రీలో డిమాండ్ ఉన్నప్పుడు ప్రతి ఒక్కరు ఆ ఇండస్ట్రీ దగ్గరికి వెళ్తూ ఉంటారు. బట్ ద పర్సన్ హూ సపోర్ట్స్
creates that ecosystem, supporting ecosystem is the one who succeeds, who will actually succeed. ఎందుకంటే స్టార్ట్ చేసే ప్రతి ఒక్కరు is not that they are going to succeed. Failures ఉంటారు, కొంతమంది can realize okay that's not their path also.
That's true.
So irrespective of the failures or success, everyone is using that ecosystem. So the one who's developing the ecosystem is the one who's going to flourish.
That's true. And thanks a lot. Actually analogy నేను చాలా ప్లేసెస్ లో కూడా యూజ్ చేసుకున్నా. And because what I feel is once you have frameworks clear in our mind కదా, once you understand different mental models, decision making easy అయిపోద్ది in regards to a lot of things. And so let's go to the last round. Rapid fire. I'll ask you, as I told you, there are a few questions that you made, and brace yourself. First question is, do you believe in renting or buying?
I think that depends if it's a liability or an asset.
Okay. Can you
elaborate? If it's a liability, then definitely renting is what I would prefer.
Okay.
But if it's an asset, buying is the option.
Okay. What do you think is a liability?
So, in simple terms, liability is something where that you have to give out money for every single time. But asset is something that can put money into your pockets.
Okay.
In a simple way.
Okay. If you have to give an example about liability, what would you give?
I'm sure a lot of them don't agree with it, but house is definitely a liability.
Okay.
Because over a period of time, you're spending on it, but it's never going to generate income out of it. But if you're talking about precious metals like gold, silver, bitcoins is something that's coming up. I personally don't look into it, but gold and silver is something that we've been following for age-old time. So that's an asset, because over a period of time, I remember when I was born, gold was hardly 3,000 rupees or 2,500 rupees. And today today it's like 64,000.
Damn.
So it's an asset, definitely.
that's
You
true.
see the growth that is there.
Yeah. And what was your first salary and how did you spend it?
Okay, this is very cliche. I really don't remember it, but tentatively about 30,000 was my
Okay.
first salary.
Okay.
And it was the first time that I bought gifts from my mom and dad.
Okay.
And I have literally given out to them.
That's sweet.
So it's always that they give me. So it was the
Yeah.
first moment in my life that I had a chance to buy something for them
Okay.
out of my own money and give it out to them.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Are you open sharing? What did you buy them?
I think for mom it was a sari,
Yeah.
and dad it was a watch.
Oh, nice. Watch is a very good gift.
Yes.
Because I think watches and glasses, no matter how many you give,
yes.
it never goes out of
Yes.
fashion.
And handbags.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
For women, for sure, handbags. Yeah. And what was the best financial advice you have received till now?
This is not anywhere personal, but from Robert Kiyosaki, who is the author of The Rich Dad and the Poor Dad. He actually said something. He said, always invest in assets, not in liabilities.
Okay.
And that's where I started understanding the difference between both of them.
Okay.
So I think it's the best financial advice that I ever received.
Nice. And what kind of products do you buy offline?
Offline. Offline as in direct stores.
Yeah,
is what
direct
you're
stores.
saying.
You prefer more offline but not online.
I do prefer online, but like these groceries
Yeah.
and all of it, just up
Yeah.
to that part.
Okay.
Offline, everything. I prefer shopping offline.
Okay.
Yeah, rather than online.
Because
For the touch, feel and everything.
Okay.
And I'm not a brand conscious person. For me, the design, color, textures is all that matters to me.
Okay.
So if that's something that's there, I don't mind which brand that belongs to.
Okay. So in online, so what kind of things you buy online? Only groceries? Like
Yeah, I don't prefer anything else buying online.
outfits?
No.
Oh, you buy even outfits, you go to a
Yes.
place and you
stores,
buy.
yeah. I keep traveling a lot.
Okay.
So that's where I start picking up
Okay.
things.
And how much, like every month, the kind of money you make, how much do you save, how much do you invest, and how is the categories are distributed?
Ideally, it is a different ratio, but right now I'm really not doing anything on that because assuming a startup, you're always burning. So right now there's no concept of saving or investing. At this point of time, definitely not. So it's all into surreal right now, what's going in.
Nice.
That's it,
So it's more like an investment only.
Yes.
And where do you spend most of your money on? If you don't calculate this investment area,
Yes.
spendings. Is it on the food? Is it on...
I think outfits.
Okay.
For outfits is something that I spend a lot of money on.
Okay. Yeah. And like when you go for shopping, do you have like a mood board even in your mind? You're like, I'll wear this color thing.
No. Looking at the outfit, I create a mood board. Okay, where can I wear it? How can I wear it? How can I pair it?
Okay. So do you go to like a fashion label or else you go to a GVK or else local shop? How is it?
I shop everywhere.
Okay.
I go to a top brand, I shop there. I go to a local market, I shop there.
Okay.
For me, as I mentioned, it's not the brand that matters. It's the feel, the texture, how new the product is. That's what matters to me.
Nice. And what is a topic that you're tripping on right now? Like, is there any new area or a business or else a subject that you're very much excited about reading or discovering?
I think more of listening rather than reading, also more of listening.
Yeah.
So I think this content creation is one part that I'm really tripping on because looking at how huge the market size can grow in next 5 years and assuming how digitalized India is also getting with the Wi-Fi connectivity and the mobile networking, everything reaching out to the district levels also.
Yeah.
It's tremendously gonna boom within no time. So that's where I'm more inclined towards to explore more, study more about it.
Nice. And for example, if you would like to recommend any good books, movies or podcasts that our listeners can probably get a lot of knowledge or anything from, what would you do?
I think book is the secret.
Yeah.
I think that's one go-to book for someone who's trying to understand what is law of attraction or someone who's trying to find a purpose for their life or if something going wrong for them, if they want to understand why things are not happening the way they are not happening. I think secret is the solution because for me it did help out. So the secret should be the book that they can go to. And coming to podcast, I think they have to start listening to your show now.
Thank you. That's a good one. She has good choice.
Yes.
Good taste.
See? I do.
Yeah, that's why I only do with people who have good taste.
Exactly.
And yeah, for sure. And thanks a lot. Actually, The Secret was the first book I think even I listened to, or else I listened to it. And there's a
Yes,
document.
audio.
I think
Yes,
there's a documentary.
There's a documentary, there's a podcast, there's a book as
Yeah, yeah.
such. Yes.
Yeah, for sure. And thanks a lot for doing this, Aishwarya. I think.
No, I mean, thank you so much for having me on board.
Yeah, I think we will do for sure once again, once you have the
Yes.
franchises out or
Yes.
something. We can have like parts of it where every time you scale, we can have
We can have a podcast.
when we can discuss about learning, because I honestly feel in this space of studio, in this space of content creation, there are not many entrepreneurs out there.
Correct.
So a discussion like this would surely add in a lot of value
Yes,
to people who want to
definitely.
build their companies.
Yes.
And I feel the main idea of YINTMONEY is also that right now Telugu ecosystem lo entrepreneurs gaani different areas explore చేస్తున్నారు. So ఈ podcast తోటి we want to tell everyone that
there's
ఈ
a new
area
industry.
new industry
Yes.
also booming
I'll be
out.
very happy if they want to start by themselves. I can always mentor them or guide them with my best capability that I can do. And adi kakunta also, if they're out for franchisees and anything, also we are always there. So they can always reach out to us on that.
Yeah, thanks Aishwarya, thanks for doing
Thank you
this.
so much, Anirudh.
Yeah. So thanks a lot for watching the video till now. మీకే కానీ entrepreneurship, money making and saving money గురించి తెలుసుకోవాలనుకుంటే YINTMONEY యూట్యూబ్ ఛానల్ని సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేసుకోండి. అండ్ మీకు ఎలాంటి డిఫరెంట్ కాంటెంట్ గురించి నేర్చుకోవాలనుకుంటే కామెంట్స్లో మెన్షన్ చేయండి. అండ్ డూ ఫాలో YINTMONEY ఫర్ యువర్ ఫైనాన్షియల్ గ్రోత్.